Here we will be discussing about the stages in the development of sporangia of Ophioglossum. Ophioglossum has a spore producing structure called as sporangiferous spike. So this is a sporangiferous spike, as we all know. The mature sporangiferous spike appears yellowish to brown in color, yellowish brown in color. This is the maturing one. Now what we are supposed to know is what exactly the sporangiogenic band is and how it developed. Now during the development of the sporangiferous spike, this spike appears in the form of a conical protuberance. Okay, the conical protuberance is nothing but a outgrowth in the meristematic cells. Now these meristematic cells are nothing but a group of cells in the plants which are undifferentiated, and they have the capacity to produce different parts and the organs of the plant. So in such a cell, one small triangular shaped cell protrude out, and this is going to divide and redivide and form this band like structure. This is actually a meristematic cell which is going to divide and redivide to form a band like structure. This band we are going to call it as a sporangiogenic band. This sporangiogenic band have cells which are bit large, and they have they have a granular cytoplasm and a well developed nucleus. The cells of this band are going to act as initial cells for the development of rest sporangia. Now speaking about the sporangia, the mature sporangia, these sac-like structures which are going to hold these spores are usually round to oval in shape, and they are arranged in a acropetal manner. In the sense, mature one will be at the base, whereas the developing one, the younger one, it will be at the apex. And they are like embedded in the tissue of the fertile spike. They measures about from their sizes in millimeters, from 0.5 to 3 millimeter in diameter. Now speaking about the sporangium, it is attached to the stalk. Each of these sacs, they are attached to the spike with the help of a stalk. This stalk is massive and it is multicellular. So we have a small stalk which is multicellular and massive. On the above we have this oval or round shaped sporangia. So this is the capsule. And this is the stalk which is multicellular. Now the wall of the cap, the wall of the cap is composed of a multi-layer. It is made up of some 4 to 7 layers in thickness. Now what is the speciality? Again, the differentiation in this wall is some 2 rows. So we have this capsule wall is made up of some 4 to 7 layers. Among this, some 2 layers cell are small. Why this differentiation is, this is formed at the terminal portion. For example, if this is the capsule, here the cells will be smaller compared to the rest wall. This is the point of dehiscence. In the sense, it is going to this mature sporangium is going to rupture at this point, and the release of spores takes place. Now usually cells of this layer are usually small compared to the rest, and they are terminal in position, and they are helpful in the dehiscence. Here, as compared to the edientum, we won't have specialized characters like annulus and stomium, which we saw in case of edientum. So here the dehiscence is not that specialized. Only what happens is, after maturation, water loss appears. Due to loss of the water, shrinking of the walls takes place. Shrinking antandre they are going to lose their water and form a structure somewhat like this. They are going to shrink because of the loss of water. That shrinking creates a split ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಆಗೋದು. Transverse split appears. That split leads to liberation of the spores. So this is a dehiscence part. As we said, there are some 4 to 7 layers which are going to form the outer wall. So this is going to form the outer wall. Internally we have a cavity. This cavity is called as sporangial cavity. In this sporangial cavity, what we have? Sporogenous cells. These sporogenous cells, they are going to differentiate and form what? Spore mother cell. This spore mother cell is going to undergo reductional division and produce spores. These spores are n in number, that is haploid in nature. This sporangial cavity has sporogenous cell. This sporogenous cell is going to produce two types of cells. One is fertile and another one is sterile. The fertile cells are nothing but the spore mother cell, which are going to undergo meiotic division and lead to production of the spores. These spores are usually some 1500 to 2000 in number per sporangium. Per sporangium consists of this huge number of spores. Now the sterile cells produced from this sporogenous cell, they are not going to produce spores. They form, actually these are of two layers. These two layers sterile cell, they are called as tapetum. Now the tapetum cells, they are going to form what is called as nutrition to the developing spore mother cell. So we have this two layer cell which is derived from the sporogenous tissue or sporogenous cell, is going to differentiate and divide to form spore mother cell and sterile cell. These sterile cells are usually two layered and they are called as tapetum. These tapetum cell, they are going to disorganize. And form what is called as a nutritive fluid. They are going to form a fluid. This fluid is rich in nutrition. In this fluid, this is the tapetum cell. They are going to disorganize and form a fluid. In this fluid, who is floating is spore mother cell. These spore mother cell are going to absorb this nutrient and metamorphose to and undergo meiotic division, leading to formation of the spores. Not metamorphose, they are going to undergo reduction and division, leading to formation of the spores. So to begin with, again we have a sporangiogenic band. How the sporangiogenic band came, we got to know that these young sporangiferous spike appearance in the form of a protuberance in the meristematic cells. These are going to divide and redivide and form a band-like structure. This is a sporogenic band, sporangiogenic band. This is the initial phase for the development of sporangium. What the sporangium are? They are multicellular. They have multicellular stalk and a capsule. Capsule is made up of some 4 to 7 layers. And two layers of this one are smaller in size and they are situated terminally, which is not shown here. This is nothing but a point of dehiscence. Rupture at this point lead to release of the spores. How the rupturing occurs? Loss of water occurs. Because of loss of water, all the cells present at that region, terminal region, they are going to shrink and a split will appear. That split will lead to breakdown of the capsule and release of the spores. Now inside the cavity, inside that capsule, outer wall we have 4 to 6 layers and inside we have a cavity. That cavity is called as a sporangial cavity. This sporangial cavity has cells which are going to divide and redivide from the sporogenous cell. Sporogenous cell from the spore mother cell. Spore mother cell undergo meiotic division and leading to formation of the spores. These spores are some about 1500 to 2000 in number per sporangium. Now we will see how the development occurs. For development, you are supposed to keep in mind these sporangiogenic band. Now the cells of a sporangiogenic band. Here the development is eusporangiate type. Eusporangiate in the sense a group of cells will be involved in the development. These group of cells are from the sporangiogenic band. These cells will undergo first division. The first division is periclinal, leading to formation of two sets. One is outer, another one is inner. These inner cells are called as archisporial cell, primary archisporial cell. The outer cell is going to divide. These outer cell, they are going to, this upper portion, okay, this upper portion, they are going to divide. First periclinal, later anticlinal, leading to formation of the 4 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, 4 cells are formed. All these 4 cells, in all the group of cells, they are undergoing another transverse division, leading to formation of 8 cells. Per cell is having 8 cells now. These 8 cells further divide and form layers which are not less than some 4 to 7 in number. So the outermost cell which formed are going to divide further, leading to formation of layers of cell which are usually 4 to 7 in number. So this is the outermost layer. Stalk is multicellular. So we are having a cavity here. This is the sporangial wall, which is 4 to 7 layers. We have this cavity called as a sporangial cavity. Now the destination of the inner cell. This inner cell we have called it as our primary archisporial cell. These are going to divide and form sporanginous cells. These sporanginous cells are present in this sporangial cavity. How they are formed? They are formed from the division of the primary archisporial cell. Primary archisporial, first the group of cells from the sporangiogenic band, they divided periclinally, leading to formation of outer and inner cell. Outer cell divided and redivided to form 4 to 7 layers of cell, which we are going to call it as a wall, sporangial wall. Nothing but a walls of the capsule. Inside we have cavity. This cavity is filled by the cells. Who is going to fill this cavity? The inner cell. The inner cell we are going to call it as primary archisporial cell. They will divide and redivide to form a sporogenous cell. These sporogenous cells are present in this cavity now. Now this sporogenous cell divide so that the outer layer of this sporogenous cell is going to form sterile cells. This sporogenous cell is going to divide to form fertile and sterile cell. Fertile cell is nothing but a spore mother cell, whereas sterile cell is nothing but a tapetum. What is tapetum? Tapetum is a 2-layered cell which are formed because of the division of the sporogenous cell present in this cavity. These tapetum are going to disorganize and form a fluid. This fluid is rich in nutrition. So in this fluid, who is going to float? Spore mother cell. These spore mother cell are going to take the nutrition and they undergo meiotic division, leading to formation of the spores, which are haploid in nature, and their number is 1500 to 2000. So these spores are homogeneous in nature. They have nucleus surrounded by inner intine and outer exine. Inner intine and outer exine. Exine is bit hardy and sculptured in nature, whereas intine is thin intine and outer exine. This exine is going to, so the dehiscence occurs at the dehiscence point. We have discussed on that. After dehiscence, dispersal of the spores takes place. These spores, when released in presence of a suitable environment, they are going to germinate. While germination, they are going to absorb water. Absorption of water lead to rupturing of this exine and germination occurs. During germination, they undergo division, leading to formation of the 2 cells. Outer cell and the inner cell. This inner cell undergo further vertical division, leading to formation of a 3-celled stage. At this 3-celled stage, there is a infection of a mycorrhizal fungus. This infected stage leads to development of the further gametophyte. So in this way, we have completed the life cycle of Ophioglossum. Thank you.